Like, get Broke Dude Podcast going so you can cancel us.
Build us up to break
Yes,
us down.
please.
Come on.
Right
Please
now,
do
any
that.
controversy will just help, right?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a bad press.
No. So there's this magazine we get at work. It's like called Wet, like wastewater engineering tech or some shit like that.
I was going to say,
Or
is that
water.
like jet? But
Yeah.
That's what I thought of when he said that.
Just
I was
sexy fucking wastewater workers. Don't exist.
like, cleaning up shit.
Yeah. Just got poop all over their hands with the fucking baby face. They're like, you know how you have the thing with Down syndrome people?
Yes.
My thing is people with short arms. Like this dude
Yeah.
had his hand like
T-Rex
halfway in his
arm.
pocket and his arm was fully extended.
holy shit.
Dude, it's so fucking weird to me.
Yeah, that is weird.
Like I cringe.
Yeah. I don't know what my equivalent to that is. Because there's a lot of things that like weird me out, but it's not to that level. You know what I mean? It's all just kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird, and then move on with my life. But it's not.
Socially inept people weird me out or make me feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like your palms get sweaty.
Yes,
Like you get nervous
like
for 'em?
right now.
Knees weak, mom spaghetti.
While I'm being socially inept.
Do I do that too sometimes, Blake?
No, it's just like
You should
like
start.
you can tell like you could tell like okay, like you got a good conversation going and then like this person will walk up and they're like way down here and then like they say something really stupid and it's just like
And the whole group just looks at him.
yeah, and I'm just like, do something, move on. Like
I pooped my pants.
Yeah, like I try to, or I'll just turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
So you don't like the autistic.
So
No, it doesn't. Well,
he doesn't like me. Because I've been that person many a times. It's not so bad now that I don't smoke anymore, though. We are Broke Dude Podcast. I'm Jed.
Chris?
Jake.
Blake,
And this is episode 156, ladies and gentlemen.
It's good to see you knew who you were this time.
Yeah.
It's good that you didn't jump him this time.
Yeah.
I'll try not to fuck the end up.
We need happy endings around here.
You can always use a happy ending.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's nothing in the history of things that could end with a happy ending and it be bad.
Sexual assault,
Okay, I stand corrected.
genocide.
How do you end a sexual assault with a happy ending, though?
Give her flowers and candy.
I meant like jerking off. I'm talking
like an actual
massage
happy ending.
Yeah.
Well, she just like gives you a limp-wristed one while she sobs into it.
that's assault.
That's happy ending for you.
I mean, is it though? Because if it's limp, it's just you're just mashing it at that point.
What is it called? What'd you call it?
What?
When you're fucking trying to rock?
Push and rope.
Pushing
Yeah. I can't believe you've never heard that term before.
fucking pushing. Like
It fits so
yes,
perfectly.
because I can just imagine someone like, pushing around.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to squeeze every ounce out of it or something. And then when you let go, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. It's like, bro, we're done. We are done.
Oh, shit.
So I had a weird thought at work this morning. Could you imagine if one molecule of H2O kept you hydrated?
Damn.
Like one molecule
For how long?
for as long as drinking 8 glasses of water keeps you hydrated.
Yeah. So like a day.
Yeah, it's just like a
So,
regular amount, your average length of hydration.
so you
per
want
glass
like
of water,
you want some Dawn soap of H2O?
like a molecule.
Are you a
Yeah.
Dawn soap salesman now?
No, it's just like it's super concentrated. So like one little drop should fill up your whole entire fucking sink.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Like I would like if we could like figure out a way to have that kind of technology to build technology to do that. Like it would make space travel a lot safer, and we wouldn't use as much water
Yeah, save the water.
and save the fish.
Wonder what size a molecule has to be though.
Well, the size of a molecule.
microscopic. Yeah, it's microscopic.
So like you could like theoretically just lick the air and be hydrated.
You wouldn't even have to lick the air. You could just and be hydrated.
But that's going into your lungs.
That's true. I don't know how this shit
Like, you'd
works.
have
I
to
don't
lick-
think your body.
You'd have to lick the air and then like get it in your spit and swallow your spit.
Just suck in air through your asshole. Boom. You're gold. You're gold. Like reverse queef.
Do some anal basting hydration.
And it there's
That's
all
like,
that.
That's
it's
your
all,
workout for the morning.
Yeah.
Pumping water in your ass.
Well, you know how they say if you butt chug beer, you get drunk quicker. So you get super hydrated from sucking the air into your ass. The science is there, Jake.
Evolution
It's there.
just happened right here in this
We
podcast.
figured it out. We nailed it with that one.
Butt lungs is what you're going to have next.
Oh my god.
So
You closed that and I thought somebody popped a shot off. What the fuck?
Calm down, Jed.
Super loud. Oh, dude, I'm jumpy. A sheriff pulled up today at work today when I was outside taking my break and smoking a cigarette. He was there to pick up some foam or some shit. But he got out of his truck and walked over to the bench that's by our door and just sat there and crossed his arms and just didn't do anything, like didn't say anything to me, didn't knock on the door to try and get in, nothing, just sat down. And I'm sitting in my truck like, is something fucking going on?
About to happen?
Yeah,
About
like,
to go
what's
down?
going on here? You know, the shit just, it was weird. But then I got inside and they're like, oh, he's picking up foam. I'm like, for what? Apparently they're building something. I don't know why they need fucking foam, but yeah.
That's pretty strange.
Yeah. It's that shows my blackness. I get really nervous around cops, even
Yeah.
when I'm just sitting there smoking a cigarette doing nothing.
like, you're lucky he didn't look at you. Or did he look at you?
I don't know. I tried to avoid eye contact. You know,
That's safe.
yeah,
That's safe.
yeah. I get real submissive around police.
You cuck. You are such a sub for cops. But then again, so is a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was bored earlier this afternoon and decided to look up some statistics. And what I found might not surprise you.
Unless you're an asshole.
So we're in June, end of June. The numbers for May, from January to May are in. And there have been 22 cops feloniously killed in this country so far this year.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to guess how many people were killed by cops in May?
Alone?
May alone this year.
200.
Nah.
I looked at your status, so I'm
Yeah,
not
I
going to
know.
answer this one.
How many? Hold on. Repeat that. How many cops were killed?
How
in
many
May?
civilians were
Oh,
killed by
civilians.
cops
In
in May
May.
alone this
Yeah.
year?
100?
You're closer than Blake. There's 86.
Jesus.
86 people were killed by cops this year in May.
1 month?
Yeah.
1 month.
Yeah.
That's
Over
a
3
lot
times
of
as much
fucking
as the
people,
cops
man.
that have been killed all year so far.
And those are probably only ones that were reported as police killings.
Yeah.
They probably hid that many too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why the FBI doesn't track that type of thing.
Mhm.
Like, surely you'd want to know, like, how much. Even the military has confirmed kills.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it should be counted as like a confirmed kill,
Yeah.
but they track how many people their soldiers have killed, and if anything, it should be used for a mental health thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you've seen this much shit. We want to make sure you're still all right for this job. Like, it's not anything to say, hey, fuck you guys are doing a bad job, because we already know you're doing a bad job.
Yeah.
We don't need numbers to tell us that, to verify that.
Yeah.
And in 4 years, 216 cops have been killed in line of duty, feloniously. Obviously, you have accidents that happen and shit like that, but accidents happen. And that's 4 years, dude.
Mm-hmm.
4 years. So
We
far,
we had over a quarter of that in a month.
so far in 5 months this year, 425 people have been killed by police. The population, yes, is a lot bigger than the number of cops.
Mhm.
So of course there's going to be more.
Yeah.
But when you look at us compared to other countries, per 10 million citizens, there is 36 people killed by cops in this country. The next closest is Canada with 6.
6 per 10 million?
6 per 10 million, I think.
Damn.
9, sorry, 10. 10 per 10 million.
Yeah. Which is still, what, like 0.1%?
Of Canada?
Yeah. Some shit like that.
For those numbers being in perspective, the only 2 countries in the entire world that kill more people than us via cop are Brazil and Venezuela.
Well,
Yeah.
Those
considering what's going on there, I could see that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Their numbers were fucking blew me out of the water. 6,000 people in a month.
Holy
or a year,
shit.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
in
I was
a
gonna
year.
say a month?
Yeah, that would have
How
been...
the fuck are they sustaining their population at that point?
Well, socialism. You just borrow from your government.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Now you're our people. Yeah, that's absurd. It's really absurd. There should not be that much death caused by police. You know, and I've been watching that show I was telling you about, the problem areas with Wyatt Snack, and he talks about the mental health side of it. And do you guys remember the LA shootout in 97? The dudes were in full body armor and they robbed a bank and like had their trunk loaded with fully automatic weapons. And it's kind of what started the really heavy militarization of police, because they had like AKs and just a shit ton of bags and bags of ammos, head to toe body armor, and the cops had shotguns and their service revolvers. And that was it, you know. And so they were just completely outgunned out by 2 people. And they had a gunfight for like something like 3 fucking hours or some shit like that. And the only reason they failed is because cop took a lucky shot, hit one of the dudes in the thumb. So when his AK jammed, he couldn't clear the jam, which is apparently super easy to do, but he didn't have use of his thumb. And so he ended up shooting himself. And then the other guy tried to steal a truck, but the dude whose truck he's tried to steal grabbed the keys before he took off out of it. And so he got in a shootout with cops, and one of the cops dropped his magazine and shot the dude in the ankles when he realized he could see his feet, and they just let him bleed out on the street after that. But one of the guys that was in that shootout has had severe mental health problems since then. And so Wyatt was talking to him about it, and he was saying, he's like, there's such a stigma with cops about going and seeing a therapist, or, you know, because the department is supposed to provide therapy if they discharge their service weapon in almost any way. I don't even think they have to kill somebody. Just if they shoot somebody, they're supposed to go talk to a therapist. But there's such a stigma against it because they're so quick to pull those officers off of the front lines and put them on desk duty. And
I mean, as they should be.
yeah, but the cops don't want that to happen. They want to be on the streets, and that's why they avoid it. But there's like every cop he talked to in that episode, they were talking about how it's rampant depression, PTSD. You know, like one of the guys was from Oklahoma and he had shot and killed one person. And he said since then, he's like, I'll wake up at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and just have fucking nightmares about the shit, you know? And if you think that there's just, I think he talked to 4 different cops about it. One was a union head and the other 2 were former or active duty. And if you think just those 4 people are struggling with it, how many in the greater departments are having severe mental problems that they just can't handle the stress of the job, and how that's escalating things that should be like a simple traffic stop. You should never have to discharge your service weapon at a simple traffic stop, period. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that's part of the reason they're having such senseless killings in these situations, is they're so fucking just stressed out that the slightest little thing, they're ready to pop off, you know?
Do they make them take stress tests?
I don't think so.
No.
Like I think you should have to be able to pass one before you're given a gun.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know, you are fully mentally there, instead of as soon as you see something or feel like you're going to be in danger, boom, grab that gun and start killing somebody. Like, you have to be able to think about those things, and some people can't do that.
No. And that's the thing too, is like in the heat of the situation, like how quick they are to jump to the gun as opposed to the taser or mace or anything else. Because he went to all the first season was filmed way before George Floyd. I think it was after Philandro Castro, but before George
Philando Castile.
Philando Castile, whatever. Sorry. I
Fidel
butchered it.
Castro's younger brother.
Yeah, exactly. But so he went to like a suburb of St. Paul, and they were doing this like community outreach shit. Fuck you guys. Okay, I can hear you laughing over there. But they were doing this like community outreach program, and they were supposed to be on the up and up. They hadn't had any incidents in forever. And then right after they got done filming, they had one where this chick, she looked like she was high on something, and she locked herself in a van and was holding a steak knife. And the cops were talking about, well, if she comes out with a knife, we'll get the rubber bullets or the taser or, mace her. And as they're sitting there talking about it, something in the van catches fire. Like she lit a fire in the back of the van. And so they're like, come on, get out, drop the knife. The second she steps out of the car with the knife, they shoot and kill her. So it was like they were prepping for her coming out with the knife, but everything changed once shit actually started going down. And they immediately went to the gun instead of the rubber bullets, the taser, the mace, anything else. And this girl was, woman, she's not a girl, but she was, I think they said she was like 95 pounds. Like she looked like a tweaker. She looked like she was high on something, and she just looked like shit. And there's 4 giant fucking cops standing around talking about using the less lethal tactics that could have easily overpowered her, and still they shot and killed her. You know, and it's one of those things where it's like, even when they tried, their first gut reaction is still to go straight for the gun.
They don't have training. When I was doing jiu-jitsu and shit down at Wave Man, there was his name Carlos in town, one of the police. He was in there, and he's been doing jiu-jitsu for a while, and I believe he probably handles himself well, because he was fucking me up. But we had this hypo come in from out of town 1 week or a couple weeks, highway patrolman.
Oh, okay.
And I rolled with him a couple times, and he was having troubles with me. Like, this is a trained cop, and he was probably your size-ish and had a lot of weight on me, but he was struggling with me, and I'm not a strong dude. So you got to think, like, that guy, that hypo gets in a scuffle with somebody, he's probably fucked.
Yeah.
These guys aren't trained. And then, like, everything's escalated. Always. It's never, like, talked down to a
like calmer, in the movies.
Yeah.
Like you see in the movies.
Yep. Like, half these cops probably can't even talk to their wife without it getting escalated, and then they're supposed to do it with a stranger. Like,
God damn it, bitch! You burnt the roast beef again.
It's just the whole thing's fucked up.
Yeah,
it wasn't built right.
And that was another thing he's talking about, how like their mental health training is 4 to 5 days. Most spots it's 4 fucking days.
That's good.
And he compared that to like psychologists and all these different areas that take 5-7 years of training or schooling to go through. And because apparently LAPD has what they call the SMART. It stands for something, but it's their SMART cops. I don't even know what
RoboCop
the fucking term is. No,
it's ICOP.
But so it's like they have the stereotypical LAPD with the cop uniform and the belt and all that shit, and this dude's in some fucking khakis and a black shirt that has like LAPD embroidered on it, not even a badge.
So like less threatening.
Yeah, but they're actual trained mental health professionals that they try to go out on calls when there's like somebody who has schizophrenia or is bipolar and they're having an episode. They get the call once the initial squad gets there and tries to assess what's exactly is going on. They call them in to kind of try and de-escalate and lower the chance of something bad happening.
I think the amount of cops that show up is kind of ridiculous too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you have one person. There's no reason 8 cops need to be there. that's only going to make that one person freak out even more.
Oh yeah.
And act erratic. Like, I don't blame them for acting that way because it's pure fear at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Especially given the reputation that has been growing.
Yep.
Like, one cop can be reasonable, but when you got a fucking mob of them, one fucks up, they're all just gonna fucking pile on and fucking just do their shit. I watched a video of this dude who got stopped by an undercover in New York, in Brooklyn, I want to say. He was on the side. They were standing on the sidewalk. Dude, undercover was holding him, not telling him what the fuck he stopped him for. These fucking 4 or 5 cops come running up. Dude's just standing there.
It was dark nighttime.
Yeah, this dude's just standing there, mind you, not being hostile, not doing anything. These cops run the fuck up, grab him, throw him to the ground, start kicking him, punching him and shit. It's like some shit you'd see on Family Guy.
Yeah.
But it's real fucking life.
Yeah, it's like he's getting jumped.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. They're just a fucking gang. Like, that's what it's the gang mentality.
Yeah.
And it's I don't understand it. I've never been a part of a gang. I've never beat anybody up.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the need to fucking 7 dudes on one guy.
Yeah.
With everybody kicking him, punching him, stepping on his fucking hands.
Especially when, like, if a cop gets behind me, I'm looking in my rearview mirror like fucking scared.
No shit.
So
yeah.
then you get pulled over and now there's 3 or 4 more fucking cars.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How am I not supposed to run?
Yeah.
They remind me of the seagulls of Nemo. Finding Nemo. Mine? Mine?
Yeah.
It's I understand if one shows up. That's fine. Your partner or whatever.
Well, and even in a situation with, like, a domestic disturbance, or there's a chance that somebody has a knife, I can understand a couple of squad cars pulling up. But the minor things that
Traffic stops and shit.
yeah, where there's 4 cops
Out of here.
and that is not necessary. And I understand that in certain situations that simple traffic stop can turn into a high-speed chase, a gunfight, whatever. But those are so small and so far between that they treat everybody like they're
Guilty?
they're guilty.
Already.
Yeah, and it's a lot of them are apparently trained to treat civilians like an opposing force. Like you need to be ready to take out the enemy. We're the enemy to a lot of
It's
these
like
cops.
they're at war with us every day.
Yeah. And they criminalize everything. So if you're not wearing a seatbelt, you're a criminal. Like, really?
It's not a crime. It's just a fine.
Yeah, but you're still a criminal. You're breaking a law.
But that turns into something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a drug stop.
Yeah.
Like, I see those little ticky tack shit all the time, but it's
Oh, yeah, like when it says guy pulled over for busted or like malfunctioning light.
driving in the left lane.
Yeah, busted with 74 pounds. Really?
Yeah.
Like, you've been watching this dude for months. Like, quit trying to lie to us, dude.
Yeah.
Any small infraction can lead to a kingpin being busted.
I got searched in Georgia because my tag light was out. The little low light that shines on your fucking license
Did
plate.
they smell weed?
No.
I got
No,
pulled
they just
over for my tag light being out and the last vehicle I was driving. Yeah. And
I got
was,
pulled.
because the cop told me because I was in a bad neighborhood and he pulled me over. I was dropping Haley off. She was in the truck with me. Yeah. She was about 6 years old at that time.
I got pulled over for a tag light in my own my own driveway.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a lady cop, and she was training some dude. And I get out of the car, and she's like, "Sir, get back in the car!" like she stumbled, and I was just like, What's going on? Why'd you pull me over?" She's like, "Sir, get back in the car." And then my mom comes running out of the house. She's like, "Ma'am, please go back into your house." And I was just like, all this over a fucking tag light?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like,
And that's what I'm saying.
1 in the
Even
morning,
right there.
but still.
Escalated.
Yeah.
Already on 7.
And they're immediately treating you like a criminal for a
Yes.
fucking tag light.
Right.
For something that, at worst, you should get a fix-it ticket for. With the second you fix it,
Oh, I
that's
did.
shit's gone.
No,
you know?
definitely at worst.
Like,
for
that's
sure.
the worst case scenario. But you were a criminal when she yelled at you to get back in your car. She wasn't thinking of you being a civilian who had a minor infraction. You were a criminal.
What am I gonna do? Fucking rush her and give her an herbo to the face?
You look pretty fucking graceful, bro. You look like you could have pounced on her like a cheetah.
I bet you the guy that she was training, he's like, damn. I didn't want to fucking. I hope this doesn't escalate.
Yeah,
I ain't trying to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah. You just start talking in your Debo voice. Get all
Honestly,
deep.
if I was a cop, I would be the guy that was like, I'd pull the cop officer and be like, yo, chill the fuck out. Like, this shit isn't necessary.
Yep.
I know I'd get fired for it, but still.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is I think a lot of them don't do that because it's a club, and the second they start trying to go against the club, they're out of the club, you know. And so it's then you got to question: is my partner going to have my back if I'm telling him to chill the fuck out when he's trying to escalate every situation? You
Like
know?
in the Chappelle thing, he was talked about that guy that did that, and he ended up getting fired. So then he's like, fuck you guys, and fucking, what did he do? Get in a van and he just started sniping people, sniping cops left and right.
Yeah,
this was probably
ex-military dude.
Yeah, it was like, what, 9-10 years ago, probably?
Trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. I'll get you, motherfuckers.
I got you, motherfuckers. King Kong ain't got shit on me. There's this dude, I can't think of his name right now, but he's a ex-Marine who became a Baltimore police officer. And
Is he the one that was on Rogan?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember
Coleman.
his name.
Yeah,
Ronnie Coleman.
no, no, it's
that's the bodybuilder.
it's like it's Michael something, I think.
I know who you're talking about. I can't
Yeah.
remember his name either.
Anyway, he was talking about how when excuse me, the difference between being a
Great
police
concept.
officer and being a Marine, and how the Marines had rules of engagement they had to follow. So when he got into the Baltimore police force, he was like, "What the fuck is
He
going
had to
on here?"
unlearn things.
Yeah, and he didn't essentially. But he was like, "What? Why the fuck are y'all doing this?
Yeah.
Like, why does this work like this? I don't understand." And now he's an activist for police reform.
Yeah, I remember listening to him talk and just being flabbergasted.
Michael Sam.
Michael Sam.
Not Michael.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the gay football
yeah, I
player.
thought it was a gay guy. Hey man, we love gay people, so
It's just a qualifier. We weren't judging him on his sexual orientation.
Yeah, just wanted to clarify which football player he
Yeah,
was.
'cause if
since
we
there's
just said, oh,
only
he-
one gay football player,
If he was the football player, nobody would know who the fuck we were talking about. But yeah, it's fascinating hearing a lot of, because there's a lot of former cops on each episode of
Michael Wood.
Michael Wood. There you go. On that show, and most of them are long fucking retired. One of them is against a lot of the police reform and the kind of ideas that they're talking about, and you can tell he's still very pro cop. But the older ones, there's one guy that looks like he's probably in his 60s or 70s, and he talks about it a lot. He's like, man, like shit needs to change. You know, it's now that he's so far out of it, he can admit that something is broken and needs to be fixed. You know, whereas the guy that's still pro cop looks like he's maybe in his 40s, so he's probably still fresh out of being a cop. You know,
Probably flies a thin blue line flag in his fucking front yard. It's like no matter what, if somebody's upset, like if you're in a bar, there's a bar fight or whatever, you're not going to go, "Hey, stop it," and expect them to calm down.
Yeah.
Because you're not calm.
yeah.
You need to be calm.
And that's the thing is, like, if you're a cop, you're automatically dealing with everybody on the worst day of their lives.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously, you're not.
but you signed up for that
Yeah.
shit.
And you're not getting called to a scene of a fucking surprise birthday party or some shit. You know, like that doesn't happen when you're a cop. You know, it's always something bad, and you need to be prepared for it. You know, and unfortunately, the people that can and would be prepared for it don't want to be cops.
It's crazy. Cops are held to a high standard when it comes to protecting you, but when they don't protect you, then all of a sudden that standard just goes out the fucking window.
Like, well, they got a dangerous job. Could you imagine if telemarketers were able to kill somebody because they were fucking rude to them?
Yeah.
Like there would be so many
God.
murders
Yes, there would be a lot of
and a
those.
lot of Indian immigrants, but the
That was problematic.
yeah.
Also, slightly true.
Hello, this is Frank. Oh, well, it's
Bitch,
not.
you ain't Frank.
You are not Frank.
Yeah.
You can't fool me. So, I read not a quick article, but it's an article about what Minneapolis is talking about doing for like police alternative. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, they're just wanting to do like a safety and something or other bureau of sorts.
Yeah.
That doesn't have any quote unquote police. Like you have people that can manage crises and have the head of that bureau be somebody who's not a law enforcement officer. So that way they're not beholden to the police unions, and the police unions aren't fucking us over by trying to get cops paid murder leave.
Yeah. Where the police department is eating up 60% of a city's fucking funding. Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of gross seeing those numbers where how like the police funds take up like the next 4 things in line, and
That's
it's
how you know they
housing
become-
and schooling and shit like that. Like the needs of the actual citizens of that city are just completely fucking trumped by the police.
That mirrors America. Look at our budget.
It's true.
Our military budget's fucking out of control.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got this giant-ass military budget. What are you going to do, give those guns and equipment to your enemies? No, you're going to give them to the police station,
Yep.
which is how they get all that shit. It's
Yeah.
all military surplus. And for what fucking reason?
Yeah.
The war on drugs?
Yeah.
How many of us are fucking drug dealers?
Which is a
That they
racist war to
created.
begin. Yeah.
Like, people don't put shit in context. They just look at everything in a fucking vacuum. Like, this cop killed it. Well, why did this guy listen? Well, if you were harassed by cops, well, why doesn't he listen to cops all the time? Do you listen to somebody when you're harassed all the fucking time?
Right. And it's funny, the people saying it are the ones that will get in cops' faces and scream at them.
Yeah.
But because they're white, nothing fucking happens.
Hey, but bro, white privilege isn't a thing.
No,
You
doesn't
need to
exist. I'm reading this book called So You Want to Talk About Race. I'm not even going to try to say her name because I will butcher the fuck out of it.
Fidel Castro's younger sister.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try to say it.
Fidelia.
Fidel.
Fidelia. But it's like Iojima Oahu.
So
It's-
she's
So she
African.
fucking Indian?
She's clearly white
Yeah, clearly white.
and a man.
Just blonde, blue eyes, white girl.
That's problematic, man.
But no, it's an interesting read because she talks about how every time like a small act of racism happens against her, somebody's like, "Oh, that's not that bad," and she's like, "It's." She compares it to like when she was in an abusive relationship and the dude would call her stupid all the time, and she's like, she would get on him about her calling him stupid, and he's like, "Well, I called you stupid this one time. It's not that big a deal." She's like, "It's not the one time. It's all of it collectively." So that's the fucking problem. And we get so hyper focused on these one things. And it's like, no, this is happening every day, every fucking hour, somewhere. It's the collective of it all that's the problem. It's not this one little fucking microaggression that happened today, right now, in this instance that I'm calling you out for. It's all of it collectively, you know? And I don't think people can comprehend or understand that. And so when we talk about like the systematic racism and all that shit, there's so much more than that surface layer that we're starting to skim, you know. And yes, those are big fucking instances like George Floyd, and I'm not going to say his name again, but Tamir Rice, and you know, just all of them, Sandra Bland, all of them are just the stuff that leaks through into the public's eye. But there's shit happening every fucking day. Like something that I didn't even comprehend is when they talk about problem areas, how they're going to go and fix crime in problem areas.
Black areas.
That's exactly the neighborhood they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's never a white neighborhood that's a problem area.
No, even though there's like spousal abuse and shit going on, probably.
And
And
meth.
high drug usage.
And yeah, meth.
Yeah, the
Shitload
whole
of meth.
suburbs on meth and
Yeah.
Adderall. And,
You know, I've watched Weeds. I know.
yeah. Fucking soccer moms all got sunglasses on, geeked out.
Yeah.
Geek the fuck out.
Like, you grew up with white parents, obviously, right?
I did.
Were they?
Did you just assume my nationality, bro?
I mean, I'm my bad. Did you grow up with white parents, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have been canceled or something. White America would have been so mad. Like, were they conservative? Or like, how did your parents even talk about this type of stuff?
No.
No.
They went to work every day and we're a family. That was about it.
But okay, based off of obviously you've lived with them and you know them for 30 years, what would you say they are?
I don't know.
Not something you guys talk about?
No. I mean, my dad's very conservative, or not conservative, consumeristic, like
Capitalists?
gotta have the nice
Oh.
Materialistic.
I got you.
materialistic, yes.
Bougie.
Oh, I got a new TV. I got this. I got that. And who gives a fuck? That's.
And your mom's not that way?
I mean, a little bit.
Little bit.
She likes shopping and all that shit, spending money, but they just work, and they think that's it.
They don't really talk about any politics and stuff like that.
No,
Yeah.
we've never.
Me and my parents have never talked about politics either. But I will say,
If you guys disagree, just by chance, you're lucky, because I fucking hate trying to talk to my mom about politics. I walked in, my mom's
Same.
been off all week, and she's been watching the kids, so I walked into lunch the other day, and they're talking about how coronavirus is starting to spike again. And my mom started spouting off that, well, if we don't test, the numbers will go down. And I just stood there and I'm like, I have to get away from this, or I'm going to say some really mean shit to the woman who gave me birth.
I mean, my mom does have the news on a lot. Maybe they are conservative. I'm not sure.
Is it Fox?
is this Fox or CNN?
I don't know what all that shit really means.
Fox is like,
Very conservative.
yeah, like if Trump like shit on the American flag, they'd be like, well, what did the flag do to deserve it?
Yeah.
Why did the flag have those
No.
colors on it?
And then on CNN would be like rioting.
I think she watches all of it.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty good. At least she's open minded. She doesn't. Somebody that sticks to one is it's problematic. I mean, that's really the thing, is because you get in that echo chamber, and that's how my fairly intelligent mother starts spouting off about fucking number of cases going down if we stop testing for coronavirus.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's not wrong, but also the cases are still out there
that's not how any of this works.
Why do people keep bringing Obama into this shit?
because it's all his fault, bro.
I'm so sick of that shit.
Like
yeah.
who do you think let all the Chinese people over here? Obama.
Yeah. Well, we had 18 coronaviruses before this one. Why didn't Obama stop them?
It's like that fucking Jordan Klepper thing you sent me, where he's interviewing people at a Trump rally.
Yeah, that shit
I
was
think
great.
Barack Obama had a big part in 9/11 because he wasn't doing nothing, always out of the office.
Yeah,
He wasn't.
playing
Why
golf.
do you think he wasn't in office?
And so, yeah.
He was,
I don't know. I
he
have
was
to get to
probably
the
a
bottom of
senator in Illinois during that.
yeah,
wasn't he?
it's
I don't even know if he was that yet. I think he was still like a community leader in 2001. Yeah.
fucking thanks, Obama, for not being president sooner. I saw a meme, kind of along the lines of the Corona thing, and I was like, if we stop checking all these illegal immigrants, there'll be less illegal immigrants.
That's true.
So let's start doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's blown out of proportion?
Corona?
Yeah.
No.
No. Like Jamil down in Texas. He said they had like 3,000 people in one day already. And their fucking ICUs are jam packed. There's no fucking room.
Shit. Just this week in Salina, we've doubled the cases we had in the first run.
I'm not hearing anybody dying anymore, though.
People are.
They're just
around
not.
here. They're not, because the numbers have stayed pretty low still. I think we've had like 3 deaths in Saline County. or
Even
some shit
Corona
like that.
don't want to come to Kansas.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
That's the one thing I get that.
All right with that.
You stay far the fuck away.
Yo, I'd rather live in Iceland right now.
Yeah.
You know, have you played that Plague Inc?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't fucking get Iceland, dude.
Well,
Or Greenland, sorry.
Yeah,
You
Greenland.
can't get Greenland.
well, because
Nobody
like
goes there.
there was somewhere in like this one of the Scandinavian countries where they tried the herd immunity shit.
Sweden.
Yeah, and like it seemed to be going well, and then everybody started getting it again, and so it's like, well, now we're fucked, you know. And it's, I don't think it's blowing it anything out of proportion. There's apparently cases where people who were completely healthy before they got it are now needing lung and heart transplants because it fucked up their body so bad. Like I said, the shit is just spreading like fucking wildfire now. I am shocked that the NBA is going through with their restarting the season at this point.
Oh, they tested all their players, and I think 13 had it.
16. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's if you're keeping everybody in the same area and you keep those 16 quarantined, then like, I don't.
Well, I mean, they're pretty much putting a bubble around them.
Yeah, that's why they're
For
playing
the-
it at the Wild
Disney.
Sports.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's hygiene related, and all the dirtbags are just getting it.
Probably.
That's part of it. I mean,
Well, that and freedom.
freedom. Yeah, you watch that video of the town hall in fucking Florida where people were spouting off about God and the devil, and I'm not wearing a mask because you're hiding God's beautiful breathing system He created. It's just
Was
absurd.
that audible?
What?
Was that side audible?
It was very audible.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And even if it wasn't audible, I think collectively our listeners would understand. It's fucking stupid to me. I mean, worst case scenario, if they are wrong and it's not as bad as they think, quote unquote, like you're inconvenienced with a piece of cloth over your face and you have to wash your hands a lot. Whoop-de-goddamn do.
Oh, this is America, man.
You know?
I don't want to be inconvenienced.
You can't tell me to not get sick if I want to get sick.
It's my right. My God-given right.
It says there, right there in the fucking Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom of guns, and freedom to die of coronavirus. It's in plain English.
Did any of you guys go to church frequently as children? You did, Blake?
Yeah.
Yep. I had
Everyone?
Yeah, I was born Catholic, and that's why I'm atheist. Yeah. Catholicism
That's still
ruined.
so funny to me.
I mean, it's the truth. And the thing is, like, if you talk to a lot of atheists who are formerly Catholic, they all tell you the same thing. Because Catholicism is based around guilt. There's a lot of guilt in Catholicism. And I remember when I started having doubts about religion, I was probably 8 to 10 years old, right around there. And I learned about original sin and how if a baby dies before it's baptized, it automatically goes to hell.
As it should.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, like, that's not right. Nothing
Like, how
about
does
that is
correlate
right.
to anything.
Like, if God is this good, omnipresent being, how is a completely innocent infant going to hell just because it passed away before it could get some water poured on its head?
It was predetermined, son.
That was baby Hitler. We caught him again. He keeps trying to reincarnate and come back, and we just keep catching him every time.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, Catholicism ruined religion for me.
So where were you going with that?
I was just wondering.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was forced to go to church every fucking Wednesday and Sunday.
Damn.
And I don't know if you've ever been to a black church.
Couple
but
times.
What
They're-
were you?
St. John's.
I mean,
Baptist.
like Baptist.
It's not like in and out, hey, praise the Lord, hallelujah. It's like hour and a half.
You know, it's a fucking concert.
Yeah. And then you got to meet in the
Foyer?
Foyer.
Foyer.
And eat.
Yeah. Why don't you laugh at him for
Calm down,
fucking up?
fancy pants.
Why don't you laugh at him for fucking up words like me fucking up names?
All right, gymnasium.
Because that's
How
your
about
thing.
that?
That's your thing, Jed.
That is true.
But
I do that
Yeah,
a lot.
I've been to more Black Baptist churches than anything else.
now I will say,
While you were in Georgia?
No, just like with friends growing up, Levi and like other.
okay, yeah.
Yep.
Choir's cool.
You know, they
It's
probably
like-
rock, though.
45% of the time, that's what you're doing. But yeah, I was forced to go, and then they had a Bible what's it called? Bible school,
Yeah.
and then did that a lot during the summer. I think it was more just my parents wanted me to
Get the
Go
fuck
away
out.
so they
away.
can smoke some weed.
and they knew it was like, oh well, he's in God's hands right now, so everything's gonna be all right.
Let go and let God.
Exactly. And then as I got older, actually, when I got arrested in 8th grade for saying I was gonna bring a gun to school, jokingly. Did I ever tell you guys about this story?
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, it was in
Bad
8th grade. I was talking to this chick, and I was like the whole Columbine thing. I think it just happened. Yeah. And I remember it was on MSN Messenger, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be fucking crazy if someone brought a gun to school? Well, the chick that I was talking to, her mom was a teacher at the school here, and she got concerned. So then, that was on a Friday, Monday. All of a sudden, I see Officer Rassett walk in.
Escalate.
He walked in, and right when I seen him, I was like, "Oh fuck!
Uh-oh. I done fucked up.
Fuck!" And all of a sudden, the teacher walked over to me. He's like, "Hey, Blake, I need you to grab your things and follow the officer. He needs to talk to you." And I was like, "Fuck! Are you kidding me?" Get into the office. There's my parents, and my mom is fucking flaming red. She's so fucking pissed. She's like, "What the fuck were you thinking?" But anyways, long story short, I ended up doing community service at a church.
Yeah. I
So-
did community service at St. Mary's for something.
He was hella cool because he's like, if you just come to my service every week, I'll give you 2 hours. I was like, all right, bet. So I just show up, sit in the back, hallelujah, have him sign it afterwards, and I was out.
I'd prefer to do what I did, which was just vacuum with one of those shitty, not plug-in vacuum cleaners. That's all I did.
He made me
Like a fucking skating rink one?
Yeah. That's all I did. That was my community service at my church. The place was empty. It was just me by myself. And the person was there, but they were off doing their own fucking thing.
Molesting kids, probably.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I didn't hear any finger popping buttholes, but
Jesus Christ.
So Twitch.
Yeah, what's happening with Twitch? There's a Twitch blackout?
Yeah, there's a bunch of streamers, I guess.
how much time do we got left before we dig into this?
13.
13? Okay.
Have at it, man.
Do you want to go first? Or?
I mean, they're basically whistleblowing, going, "Hey, I've been, sexually assaulted or harassed or blah 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 by Twitch." I don't know if it's execs or other Twitch streamers or both or all of the above, but a bunch of women are like, "We've had enough," and they're speaking out. And then there's still a lot that aren't speaking out. But even the Dota 2 scene, a couple announcers or broadcasters, they basically said, get the fuck away from Dota 2 because they had allegations and all that shit.
Dota 2 did? Or the announcers?
The announcers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Toby One was a guy, and then I don't remember the other guy's name, but they were two well-respected guys that behind the scenes at the after parties and shit were
doing heinous shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, are
Bunch of Matt
gaming
Lauers.
chicks bad though?
Some of them.
Doesn't matter. I mean,
know.
Some, yeah.
that's the thing is with everything that's going on with rhymesayers too, because I mean it's the second occurrence of the Me Too movement coming around, because we talked about it beforehand. It's happening in wrestling too, where there's that whatever the hashtag was, I forget at this point, but they were talking about how promoters had fucking assaulted them or taken advantage of them or whatever.
They're doing it in porn too.
Really?
Yeah, there's a bunch of porn stars on Twitter talking about.
How do you get sexually assaulted doing porn?
I guess a lot of the talent's just coming up and start fucking them without their consent, and,
okay. So they're not signing off on
right,
Okay.
or a lot of the promoters are like, "Hey, if you don't come here and suck this dude and let him blow all over your face,
Blackmail type shit.
we're not going to
Yeah.
pay you." So a lot of them, that's why they're going to OnlyFans and they're going to
Getting off of whatever.
right,
Yeah.
shooting their own content.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they're making like there's this one stripper porn star. She's like making 35 racks a month.
Oh yeah.
dude.
Some of those fucking people charge $20 a month.
And
And
there's a lot of nasty fat perverts out
thousands.
there.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of religious people here too. So
Yeah. A lot of weird fucking repressed religious people. But yeah, so the rhyme sayers thing I wanted to talk about is when I brought it up, there was two. Now there's a third one that's come up too. But the two artists that were released by rhyme sayers were Dim Atlas, which is a kind of he was an up and coming on their label, and then Prof.
What?
Yeah, they cut ties with Prof. And but they're two vastly different cases, because Dim Atlas has actual allegations of sexual assault and coercion against women. One of the stories that I read about was how he talked about this chick talked about how he had invited her to a car to smoke a joint, and they're smoking a joint, or went on a date or some shit, and they were sitting in the car, and he basically was like, he really turned me on and just pulled his dick out and shoved her head down and made her start sucking it. And she was like, in the moment, like, this isn't right, but I like this guy's music. I really cherish him as an artist. And then
I've done that before.
she
gone down on a dude to like his music.
trip, trip, trip.
No.
But so Dim Atlas, like, I understand him being released. Like, these are pretty fucking serious allegations against him right now. Prof, on the other hand,
Damn.
it was his DJ who he fired in 2016, was apparently accused of a whole bunch of like really bad sexual assault shit. I haven't looked up too much into that because I don't know his DJ. The guy's name was DJ Fundo. Apparently he was just a really awful shitbag of a human being. But because of the content of Prof's music that is kind of misogynistic, it's when I hear it, it sounds more like just any radio rap, like party music. Like
Uncle Luke type shit.
not even that. It's not even that bad.
Mm.
It's him talking about bitches, that kind of shit, know?
Okay.
But that's not Rhyme Sayers' thing. Like, when they signed him, he was underground, but you could see the potential for him breaking into the mainstream. And of all the artists on Rhyme Sayers, he was the one that had that potential to break through and become mainstream. A lot of their acts are really niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not Aesop Rock's not going to go mainstream. Slug and Atmosphere are not going to go mainstream, but they have huge followings in the underground circle.
Mm-hmm.
So Prof was released for making misogynistic music. He's about to have an album come out. He spent the last week denouncing DJ Fundo, talking about how he had no idea any of this shit was going on with him. He cut ties with him in 2016 because the dude was a piece of shit. This was before he had heard any of these allegations against him in the first place. But the dude wasn't performing well. He was just a shitty person in general, I guess. And so he just cut ties with him and hasn't produced or made any music with him, done any touring with him in 4 fucking years. And he still got released by Rhyme Sayers. So I'm torn on that one. And it's not because I liked Prof's music.
It's
I do
just like
like
a guilty
Prof's
by
music.
association type thing.
And the style of the persona he puts out in his music.
Mm-hmm.
Because I follow him on Instagram. Like, he's not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
His music may be that way, but he is not that guy. Like, you can tell he's a genuinely good person behind the scenes. It's almost like with Eminem's early shit, when he was the fucking psychopathic killer, horror shock rap kind of guy.
Slim Shady.
Yeah, Slim Shady. Like, Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers are not the same person,
Right.
But granted, Prof doesn't go to that fucking level that Slim Shady does. But so it's kind of a weird situation because, like, on one hand, I get it with Dim Atlas, and then the other guy who hasn't been released yet, but apparently more allegations have come out against him today. That guy is POS. He's like a weird punk rock rapper kind of guy. I'm not super into his music. I barely know him. Like I said, I just saw him being alleged on shit today, so I don't know anything about his situation yet. But apparently, there's a lot of shit going on Rhyme Sayers, which is one of my personal favorite labels. It's got a lot of my favorite acts on it. And to see this almost like forward-thinking and conscious underground label just being destroyed by sexual assault allegations is fucking insane to me right now.
Well, at least, I mean, it seems like they got it out in front of it, though.
They're trying to, and I think that's the thing that bothers me though with the prof releasing is I get it, but at the same time I don't get it, because it's there. As far as I know, as of us recording right now, there have been no allegations against Prof himself. It was against his DJ that he cut ties with 4 years ago. So for him to get released just based on the context of his music, and especially when there's way worse shit out in there in the current day, like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Maybe Prof wanted to be.
I don't think so.
Unless they found some shit and know some things they're not talking about.
And that could be it. Like that's why I'm saying as of right now, I haven't heard anything. It could come out. Like I said, there was more allegations against a different performer who hasn't been released yet today they sound pretty serious too, so there could be more coming from more artists on that label. And I'm sure we already know about other labels and the horrid shit people have done on it, and that's only a fraction of it all. So,
oh yeah, I want to show you guys something.
It's gonna keep happening.
Wrap it up.
Yep.
Nice.
Wrap it up.
It's gonna keep happening too. The more comfortable women get with speaking out,
And they should like it.
They should.
It would have happened sooner.
Definitely. But I mean, I'm not knocking rhyme sayers for doing what they did, for taking the initiative and saying like, look, we want to be better. We want to progress and not allow shit like this to keep happening. I'm all for it. I understand it. I get it. But it's a weird situation for those two drastically different accounts for what's happening.
The only thing I can think of is the content of his music, and if it's being misogynistic, they don't want that type of stuff on their label
to be associated with them,
right? Even if he's not doing it, and maybe they went up to him and was like, "Hey, man, can you like rap about something else?"
Well, and
that's
the thing
nah,
is,
fam, fuck you.
That's the thing
fuck bitches,
right? Well, and that's the thing is like, I would say probably a good 60% of his songs aren't, but the 40% that are can go. You know what I mean? But that's
like
the thing
Harvey
is, like,
Weinstein bumps him.
No, they're not. They're not like it's not even that bad. It's just like bitches. Yeah, getting drunk. Let's fuck. Like that kind of music.
Molly, I'm sweating.
Yeah,
she ain't know it.
It's that kind of music. Like it's not.
Sorry.
There's nothing. Yeah. There's nothing remotely aggressive towards
that
women.
Clipped,
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I could hear it in my ears.
Yeah.
But there's nothing remotely like aggressive towards women. I wouldn't say offensive because somebody's can take offense to shit he says, but it's not. There's nothing that I would say is problematic.
Like he's not drugging bitches and then fucking them without their consent.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
There's no content like that. It's more like I fuck a lot of women. Let's have a threesome. Titties and ass everywhere. That kind of shit. Like the stereotypical rap music.
Bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, got him.
Hot fire.
I had a conversation with a girl at work. We had to do a bunch of rearranging at work. They let, 35, 40 people go. Anyways, she was telling me about how one of the guys there, she's like, I'm kind of glad I got moved because this guy, like, he's just a fucking creep. And he would make me feel very uncomfortable. And I was like, well, why wouldn't you just say something? And she's like, well, because like I kind of like went along. I would throw in my little jabs of like sexual,
Flirting.
yeah, not
Innuendos.
flirting, innuendos, but just like sexual. It would be considered sexual harassment at work. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, so, she's like, but I kind of wish somebody else would just hear it so then they could go and say something because I don't want to be the girl. I don't want to be the girl to basically start shit and then nobody ever wants to come around me and talk with me and just shoot the shit with me because that one guy did that. And I was like, I don't know how that feels, but I get what you're saying. It's probably going to have to be, end up like that. And I started thinking about it. I was like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, she should be able to just walk up to her supervisor and be like, yo, so-and-so is being a fucking douchebag. It's making me feel uncomfortable. I don't like this shit.
Or at the very least, tell the dude, like, hey, dude, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not okay
pump
with
the
that.
brakes. That's
Yeah.
not cool.
Yeah.
It's you want to know how to go full circle? It's the same shit with the cops that we're talking about. Like that you can't say shit or you're fucking blackballed, which is gross in any fucking way, shape, or form.
I personally would stop that shit right then and there. Like, I was, you know, I would be like, nah, I'm not okay with this. You need to fucking stop doing this shit, and we need to keep it moving.
Yeah.
So,
And the sad thing is some of those guys will still hear that, get that warning, and not take it. You know.
or they'll be like, oh, she was being a bitch.
Yeah. What a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
I couldn't sexually assault her. Wow.
What
Unbelievable.
a shitty fucking woman.
Wow.
She should just be able to go and grab him by the pussy like the president.
That's how I learned it.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 156 is in the books. I hope you like that depressing take on the police, the corona, and sexual assault. Yeah, I think we made it good. I think we were able to spin that into a positive yarn somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
Which feels gross to say, by the way. I don't like saying it like that. 2 weeks. We're gonna do my album, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, 2 weeks. My album review is coming.
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, Binary Star. I think you're gonna hate it, Blake. I know you're gonna hate it. I know you're gonna hate it. But it's gonna be fun. So for Jed,
Chris.
Yes. Jake.
Blake.
High five.
we are Broke Dude Podcast. See you in a couple weeks.